Hey, what's up, traders? Just watch this video for Tuesday, January 21st. I'm sure most of you have figured out the market's closed Monday. SPY still grinding higher. Very, very strong market. For those of you that weren't in chat, ugly daily chart here. Look at this, SNCA. But on an intraday basis, here's what kind of how it unfolded. Gapped up, ripped, barely popped through two. You guys know we love that second mouse through the whole number with the high of day still above, called that through two, and it went all the way to at 1.4 something. But this is why we rent them, and this is why we scale out on the way up. Look at that. I mean, that was a nasty sell-off. I think they announced warrants or something right in the middle of the trading session. I was not in it at this point, thankfully, right? But even so, you know, to look at that and think we got it through two and it basically doubled from there. Nice day trade, but you know, I always say I don't hold anything overnight, and I scale out into strength as the day unfolds. Also, NK was on watch because it looked like this going into Friday. You know, it's kind of a weird topping tail there, but still worth watching as a day trader. And then I just simply called it as it was in kind of a nice narrow range here. Just called it simply opening range breakout at 765, and you know what, in 6-7 minutes it went to 836. We were scaling out into that too through 8 and all that stuff, so another nice trade there, and then it ended up doing next to nothing after that. So what are we watching for Tuesday? JMIA had the big breakout on let's see, on Thursday, and then Friday kind of gave some of it back, but I still think it's worth watching. It's got nice support below on the daily. So BYND, I don't know what to think of this daily chart. I mean, you had this big squeeze, and then it finally reversed, and now you've got kind of 3 days in a row where it's going sideways. It might break down, and it might break to the upside, but I am going to watch it for an A+ intraday setup. NK, I just showed you that. I'm actually going to watch that again because it did have an inside day, but these two topping tails tell me it's probably done for a while, but anything can happen, so it goes on watch. TCON, big pop on Thursday, quiet inside day on Friday, looking for a possible third day play on that one. APTX, kind of a nice volume breakout of probably, 5 months range, and we'll look for a follow-through day on that one. NVAX, NVAX, nice breakout on volume on Friday. It did basically close. I don't have the 200-day on this chart, but the 200-day is right about where it closed. We'll see if that affects it, but definitely want to watch that for a follow-through day. TEUM, I wanted to throw one sub-dollar, you know, one what maybe you call a penny stock. This is kind of an interesting chart. It went down here, just did nothing, but then a big pop, kind of flagged for about a week, and then another pop, and sort of flagging again. So I do think it's worth watching. I'm not a big fan of the under $1 stocks, but it's not a bad setup. So SDC, actually, is this the one? Yeah, I actually called this one, for those of you that weren't in chat, on Friday over 1360 right here too, and then scaled out into that pop. The reason I scaled out and didn't really, once it did like right here, I think is where I sold the rest of it. Once it kind of broke this flag to the downside, is because most of you know, but if you don't, because the next catalyst was pretty far away. So it wasn't like this was flagging below what I view another catalyst. So it played it pretty tight, but still had a decent little trade in that one. But anyway, I want to watch it. This one on Tuesday and really all week, because I'd like to see another red day back down maybe to the 8-day, and I'd like this a lot more. But with the 2 red days, I am going to start watching it for a turn back up. PTE, big breakout on Thursday, kind of quiet inside day on Friday, staying in the upper half of Friday's range, so that's got potential. MGI, nice pop on Thursday, another kind of quiet inside day on Friday, and closing near the 2-day high, all things relative anyway. I think that's worth watching. RADA, nice pop here, big breakout. We were actually in on this that day, and then they announced an offering, and you know what? It's holding up pretty darn well since the offering, so I'm going to keep my eyes on that one. NBEV, this one's kind of obscure, but if the pot stocks get moving, this is in that category-ish, right? If you know anything about NBEV, it's a beverage company, but it's worth watching because they got CBD in their beverages or something. Anyway, long story short, Kendall Jenner announced she starts every day with one of their drinks, and that's what got this on. I actually had a huge trade in it that day because I caught it right after the news. It wasn't the call in chat. I announced I passed along the news, but it was too late the thing really took off. And I got a really good fill, like 178 that day, and my best sell, I don't know, in the 220s maybe, but it all happened pretty fast. Anyway, you know what? It's holding up pretty well. You had a lower high it put in at 205, and it did that 2 days in a row. So I really like this over 205. But Friday, it put in a 199 high. So I'm kind of thinking maybe if we see a seller on the tape at 2, I like it through 2, knowing that 206 could be another catalyst. And then maybe the Kendall effect kicks in, right? So if pot stocks are strong, I really want to keep an eye on that NBEV. It's kind of obscure, but I like the idea. Speaking of pot stocks, I wanted to throw at least one. All the charts look kind of decent, like they might continue their recent rally. But I just chose Cron. It's kind of the better looking charts of the ones I've seen. Had this nice 3-day run, red inside day, and then another inside day. I really like it over this flag, so I want to watch that one. And then lastly, LEDS, ugly daily chart, but in after hours on Friday, this popped to 3 something, and it looks like it ended after hours somewhere around 288. So possible gap play on Tuesday. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. We'll add gappers to this list as well. Again, remember, I'm only using this list as a starting point, and we will only take trades. I will only take trades or call trades if it has an A+ intraday setup, and I don't hold overnight. So keep that in mind. And I'm done babbling. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see y'all on Tuesday.